Relax and get loose while I put you up on game. The Figure Booth with Josh and Nate. This that podcast folk. Those in the know. Batman vs. Iron Man. How would it go? We talking one of a kind. Collectibles. Mezco toys are respectable. It's unacceptable if it's not in the packaging. Nate don't take pics if you ain't rapping it. Nate's dirty tricks are always happening. But damn it, man. Don't you be stressing. Round here we believe in plastic confessions. We trying to figure out the figures that's gonna stand the test of time. That G.I. Joe handmade hit me in the spine. There's perfection in the way that these toys are made. But I also wanna know, do I pick Wade or Slade? So this is where I come to kick it with the guys. The Figure Booth. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome back, Toy Fam. What is up? You have made it to another episode of The Figure Booth. I am Josh, aka Prime to the First.
Hey guys, this is Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate, and you've reached episode 43, which we're calling The Algorithm.
Secrets to the web. Make sure you got your notepad. We're going to give them to you guys.
We've got all the secrets right here. Yeah, we're going to crack the code. It's going to be the new Konami code of Instagram.
I went and I looked for my Game Shark. I looked for my Game Shark, my Game Genie. You know, I got it.
Yeah.
Kind of, you had to blow on it. I got it ready.
I wonder what was the Game Genie? Like, what was that doing? You had to stick that thing, the cartridge in the Genie, and then you'd stick that in the game. Does that just give you access to everything? Is that what that's doing? Like, I'm trying to think back
yes.
now.
I can't remember when I was 7 or 8, but I want to say yes. It gave you I remember the kid, the electricity, like he was like Raiden. He had the ultimate power, and I was like, yes, Game Genie. Unlimited lives, because then you could enter codes for like invincibility. You could,
Well, you had like a list that you could select from, and then it'd be
that's right.
Okay, now you can activate this one or this one. But then there was also codes for that. So
I never had it.
Maybe the Game Genie was just an easy way of the code. Like, hey, we've got all the codes stored. Just put it in your console. We got you good. Sorry, we went on a different tangent.
That's crazy. I mean, I just had a picture of the Game Genie. I was like, I wish I get it this year. And it happened. So
I remember I bought a Game Genie because I wanted to cheat at games. Games
see,
like
you were a cheater.
Turtles in Time.
I stayed true to the path.
Well, it always got old when you would cheat, because then you're just like God mode OP the whole time.
Yeah, there's no fun in that. You can't be God mode all the time. I was like, nope. No. I'll take the L respectfully, and I'll come back and I'll live to fight another day. You wake up to fight another day.
Well, it always feels better when you win the right way. When you win the game, how you're supposed to play the game. And you're like, okay, I actually beat the game on its own ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a weird tangent. We're not talking about Game Genie, I promise. We're talking about the Instagram algorithm. It seems like it continues to change, and it's something that I hear a lot of people talk about. Whether it's in a DM or it's part of one of the Discords that I'm in. Shout out to the Enablers Discord, or the Figure Collective, or what have you. It's something that I think is a hot topic for a lot of people, is that they've seen that engagement seems to be down across the board. Would you say that you've had that experience? Like, what do you say?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I was looking at some of the insights on my page, and I dropped almost 90% for the last couple of weeks, which is insane. Usually I have pretty good engagement, and like 90%, I'm like, wow, I'm like, that's crazy. And it's felt just when I was getting momentum too. And the weird part was that I had taken a break almost a whole month of posting anything, maybe some stories here and there, but I wasn't really posting I think the whole month of December. I didn't post a single thing, and probably December was a very steady month of me getting followers, getting a lot of like traction. And I was like, oh man, I should start. That encouraged me to like, okay, let me start posting again. Let me create some new content. Let's get the Figure Booth back out there. Let's do some more stories. Like, let me get back on the orders. And then now it's like nothing. I'm like, crickets. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, it seems like I've found kind of a similar experience where if I compare this to like last year, I remember last year I felt like I was getting more engagement. My photos were getting, and when I say engagement, I mean likes, comments, people that are discovering your photos more than your normal followers, that type of thing. You can kind of notice when you have a shot that's quote unquote doing well. Because you're like, okay, I've got random people commenting, I've got random people liking. Right. Maybe I hit the explore page, And this year it seems like it's definitely been down. Some, it just depends. Some posts are better than others. But it definitely seems overall engagement, at least with photos, has been down. I think that's like a big change that Instagram is making. I read an article recently that is very interesting, that over the last 6 months, Instagram has kind of been overhauling the way the algorithm works. So it seems like they're really fostering people that use Reels.
Yeah.
So if you've been using Reels and you're using a lot of their quote unquote new features, you're getting prioritized a little bit more. So if you're not using Reels and you're just posting photos like the traditional way of Instagram, it seems like that is kind of limiting you a bit, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. It seems like they're punishing the users that use it for the original intent.
Yeah. It's almost like, it feels like, when you've been like a loyal customer.
Yeah.
Like I've been a loyal customer of Instagram for a long time, and
Yeah.
I'm used to using Instagram in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this on prior episodes, but it's almost like they're a little bit more focused on the new users, people that are using, maybe coming over from TikTok or something like that.
Yeah.
And trying to capitalize on the Reels. And then it sounds like at some point they're going to try to have like a monetization feature for Reels, sort of like YouTube, when you hit a certain number of followers and you get a certain number of people that consistently watch your content, you're going to be able to monetize that. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to have to pay someone to see, can you imagine, like, let's say you're scrolling through somebody's feed, and all of a sudden you get like a reel and it says, pay $5 to view Prime's reel.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool.
No, you're like, fuck Prime.
Yeah, fuck Prime. I don't like that guy that much.
Yeah.
But it sounds like either that or, giving you some kind of kickback for how many followers you're getting on your reels. And I don't know why it's so specific to reels.
Yeah.
But it's got to be that whole TikTok game that's going on,
Yeah.
And me and you are older users of Instagram, and we've kind of gotten used to the way that it works. You post a photo, you go and interact, you check some hashtags, you look at the explore page. I don't post a whole lot of reels. I know you don't either. I know there's some people that are a little bit better about it than others. I've tried to post reels in the past. I just don't have a lot of passion for the whole process. I feel like a reel is just very kind of cumbersome and a pain in the ass to make, you know? So I usually will make my stuff on TikTok and then save that and use it on Reels. But I guess even that, it recognizes whether or not it's a saved video and whether or not I'm using Reels to make it. So if I'm using another service and using that saved video and trying to post that, it's also kind of putting that at a lower priority.
See, and that does it, because I'd rather just do it once and be able to put it out to the masses in whichever social media outlet I want. If it's a reel, I want it to be able to go on Instagram, TikTok, and anywhere else, OnlyFans, whatever it is.
Yeah. And it seems like the more that this reel is in a loop and you get like more views from it, the more of a chance that you can get monetization.
Yeah.
Which is just really encouraging the reels. I feel like Instagram as a platform, maybe in the next 5 years or so, not 10 years. I think that's too long. But within the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see like the reels are the main focus, and not so much the pictures. So do we go to a different platform or how do we adapt to what's going on, with Instagram? Because it's not the same as I think a lot of us are used to. And it's kind of it feels like a punch in the gut. You're like,
it does.
Is it my posts that are bad? Is it something that I'm not doing right? I don't get why my engagement seems to be down. There's really no explanation for it.
It does. And I think one way that certain communities can get through it is if they really like listen to each other, and those ones that are constantly posting, because I've seen where there's top content creators within the toy community where they're like, hey, if you like my stuff, like make sure you're liking it, make sure you click on the alerts to notify you when they do their posts. Because man, there is a lot of people that I used to see a lot of pictures of on my feed, and I hardly ever see them. And I'm like, man, did they stop posting? Are they not as active anymore? So I have to go and search for them. And then I see, oh, he just posted like 2 days ago, or she just posted. And I'm like, man, so then I'll go in there and I'll set the alerts so that way I know And and I'm like, this is crazy. Like my feed is all jacked up, or I'm seeing stuff from like 3 weeks ago, or I am seeing a bunch of reels, and I'm like, I don't go on Instagram to watch reels. So if you're gonna force me to watch reels, I'd rather just go to TikTok and just watch those videos because I don't know. I just to me as as a loyal customer with my grandma penny saver account that I've had since you guys first started, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go on
Change the way
Instagram
you're
to
using it.
watch reels,
Yeah.
especially if Instagram. I've already been like the behavior in me when it comes to Instagram is like I'm gonna go to Instagram to look at pictures and stories. If the stories they pushed it and they forced it down everyone's throats, where I'm used to looking at everyone's stories on Instagram, and even that, like comparing the likes versus the stories, right? I've posted some stuff where I'm getting, let's say I get 100 likes. All right, cool. I post a story, I get like 500 views. I'm like, how does that?
Yeah.
I can get
Right.
like,
How does that
it's,
equate?
yeah. I'm like, they're watching me, but they don't like me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right. It really doesn't take much effort when you think about it. You're double
yeah,
tapping a post, or you're just hitting the little heart button, like
yeah.
how
Hit the
hard
heart,
is that really to do?
spread the love.
And I think it's just they want that quick info. They want to just move on with their day. They see the story, they move on.
Yeah,
But then you see other stuff that happens to do a lot better, and
yeah,
it's like the hand pick that we talked about with Just
yeah,
Jay that one time.
yeah,
The hand picks are doing really well. I don't understand
yeah,
what that's all about.
yeah.
Um,
And the reels don't. I mean, like, I've seen some of the reels, but again, like that it's Instagram's. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to. I don't get it because as a user, I'm like, I'm not going to Instagram to watch the reels. I know they've shoved it down my throat so much where it's always in
yeah,
my face every time I log on, and it's like, hey, try a reel, hey, try this, try that. And I think when I just logged
yeah,
on today, they were like, the monetization popped up, and then I think the reel ad popped up again about how if I want to increase my engagement, I should start doing reels. And I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? Now the more you tell me to do it, now I don't want to do it. You're not
yeah,
gonna get real. And I'm like, now I don't even want to be on here. I'd rather just go somewhere else or just completely log off social media. Like it's just when you're starting to force me to post a certain way or demand that I should be posting in order for me to get growth or exposure, like that's where I'm like, nope.
yeah. And I really don't like how now in my home page, like when you go to home and
Mhm.
you start scrolling, there's a bunch of ads in there.
Oh, I hate the
Like
ads.
I've got an ad from like Kenny G. I've got another ad from like Old Spice. It's just
Yeah,
like, what the hell is this? Like, this has
yeah,
nothing to do with what I'm doing.
yeah,
At least show me like Medicom or,
yeah,
a
yeah,
Mezco ad or something like that. But why the
yeah,
hell am I getting an Old
yeah,
Spice ad in my homepage? The homepage should be for people that I follow and, stuff that I've actively liked and engaged
yeah.
in. Like, it should be looking at that
More
kind of
tailored.
behavior.
It should be more
Yeah, more
personalized. Like
tailored.
if you are following certain hashtags or certain content creators, because I've seen some other ones where it says like, oh, based on because you like this one artist, here's another one. Like
Hmm.
I've really been following lately different types of art medium where it's like either people that sculpt or actually paint, whether it's on canvas or statues and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's been recommending that, and I'm like, okay, why don't you do that? But when it comes to toy picks, like I don't know if it doesn't recognize them as because a lot of toy collectors don't have their page set up as official artists, and it's just more of a personal.
Right.
Because I usually get recommendations on like, hey, because you follow this artist and they are like if their page is an
Hmm.
official artist or it's a business, here's more artists similar. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Then I find other individuals in that medium. But I'm like, I wish it would do the same thing for toy photography and see it. And
Right.
if it's like
Right.
if it takes all of us to change our page from a personal one to a business one, that's just like I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's not a business. It's just my
Yeah.
hobby, you know?
Right. No, you
Yeah.
bring up a good point. And some people, maybe don't even know that exists, but I don't know what the qualifications are, but most people can change their account from being to Prime's point, a personal account to a
So,
professional account.
mhm,
The good thing about that is something that Prime talked about earlier is the insights.
mhm.
So the insights let you look at your engagement with followers, how many new people are discovering your account. When you
Yeah.
post a photo, how is that trending?
Right.
Are you
Good
up?
times,
Are
bad
you
times. Yeah.
Yeah, is your engagement up or down from where it was maybe the same time last month? It
Mhm.
kind of gives you a really good feedback as far as are you getting the reach that you thought you were getting,
Yeah.
or is it down? And I've seen mine go down. Like I remember I posted a Batman shot, maybe last year that got like, I don't know, 20,000 people that found it or something like that.
Yeah.
Post another one, it's down to like 6,000. Like
Damn.
6,000 people have discovered your photo, which is still awesome.
Yeah.
But it's a lot less than what I'm used to.
Yeah, I'm over here with 100, you're with 6,000. Thanks.
Or, something like that. It's really it's definitely dependent on your follower count too. And, I think in the past, what I used to see is about 10% of my follower count be about the amount of likes that I would see on a photo.
Yeah.
So, if you got 1,000 followers, you should expect maybe 100 likes on a photo at any given time.
Yeah.
Even that seems to be down.
Yeah.
But, what I think about is like creative people like customizers or dial makers or people like yourself, which actually use Instagram like a business.
Yeah.
Like this might be really hurting someone's small business.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really, really unfortunate because they're not getting the reach they deserve. I've had a couple of conversations with Longshore Spike, and hopefully he doesn't mind me talking about this, but he's seen huge drops in engagement.
Yeah.
And he decided to kind of walk away for a little bit. He's like, it's not worth it for me to invest my time into Instagram because for whatever reason, they're pigeonholing my account. I'm not getting the reach that I used to get. I'm not getting the sales I used to get.
Right.
It's just not beneficial for me.
And I mean, playing devil's advocate is you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? And if you're going to treat this, if you're going to have like an enterprise state of mind where you're like, okay, I found this hobby. I have a brand. I really want to make my impression on the toy community. But a lot of times, like the toy community is really expansive. It is massive. Like I went on Reddit a couple years ago and I posted one picture and it exploded. And I ran into so many individuals that had never heard of me. And to me, it was a really humbling experience where I was like, man, it is crazy. And that's when I really started shifting my attention to like Reddit. I'm on Twitter, and there's a lot of users that they're heavily Twitter users, and that's it. They don't mess with anything else. I'm a heavy Instagram user. I don't mess a whole lot with Twitter as much as I used to. And even with Reddit, like there's a lot of like crazy groups out there, but I was in Reddit for a good minute. Now I haven't really been in there, but it's still there's so many different groups, even the Facebook groups. Like I went through a phase where I was really active in a lot of those groups, whether it was customizers or Marvel Legends groups or Mezco groups. I was super active on Facebook, but that it's in itself takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and being involved in each social media circle, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, you fill in the blank, put in whatever it is, and whatever the new one's going to be. There was a time in Instagram where something new came about and everybody was leaving Instagram to go join this other. I don't remember.
I remember what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody was jumping on board.
I can't remember what it was called, but I remember what you're talking about.
Like Pixar or whatever it was called. Like everyone was leaving to do this other because it was way better. And then everybody came back. Yeah. There's been other, and that's kind of like the cycle. But if you're looking at this from a business standpoint, you're like, okay, I want to make my impression. And then you see that then there's a site, you have to maintain that website. But then how do you consistently keep that social media presence in whatever that medium is, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or the new thing that's going to come out? If MySpace comes back, okay, we all go back to MySpace. Or if it's something else, Friendster, we all go back to Friendster. Like we just start all this crazy stuff. There's been so many. At the end of the day, it's like it's that, and then getting back to the cons or it's always going to be that. I look at it as it's always like the hamster on the hamster wheel. You're always going to have to just be spinning your wheels and not just think of Instagram the one and only thing.
Yeah,
especially from looking at it from my perspective, I'm like, I can't just rely on Instagram because let's say my account gets hacked, and I've seen this where the engagement goes low, and then people get their account tagged, and then all of a sudden they're posting about stocks or crypto, or they're sending DMs about like, hey, I made $10,000, like come and invest with me. I'm like, oh, that guy got hacked. I feel bad for that guy, or they take down your account and then you have to create another one and you gotta do. I'm
build that all over again.
Exactly. If the day was to come that I was to lose my Instagram account, I don't want to be pulling at straws or freaking out. I want to be like, okay, well, I got plan B, plan C, plan D. Like I still have backups.
Yeah.
So And it's happened to big accounts. Like, I've seen it happen with Extreme Sets where they lost their big main account and then they had to do a backup, and then it
Yeah.
was a huge mess. So you can definitely tell it can happen to anyone. And a lot of times, even at us establishing this on audio platform, but then also on YouTube, where it's like then we can come to YouTube and have this as a backup where we can still communicate to our audience and let them know, hey guys, this is what's currently going on. The it's still in the works. We want to be able to have that open channel with everyone. And I think from a business standpoint, you got to have like all those doors open, and making sure like, okay, this path is clear. Instagram's not working. I'm going to shift over to Facebook, or
Right.
Facebook, I'm
Right.
going to so that's hard. That's really hard. And I have to remind myself a lot of times, like Instagram is not the one and only. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not the answer. I can't just rely on Instagram, because one day Instagram's going to look at me and be like, hey, you know what?
You're not
we're gonna
cutting it, Josh.
It's not you, it's me.
It's
So
me. Algorithms
I
changing. Your account's no longer supported.
they're like,
Sorry.
hey Prime, we love you. We're just not in love with you. Oh, that hurts.
Oh,
If you've
ouch.
gotten
That's the
that, the
worst
whole
thing
I
you can
love you,
say.
but I'm not in love with you speech, then
Right. The Dear John letter.
Oh, that's the worst. If you get a Dear John letter. If I was to come home and it's just like, hey, Instagram sent you this postcard, I'm like, it's a postcard, it's a Dear John letter, I'd be, that's
Hey,
it.
Josh, thanks for all the years, but see you later.
See, like, and I couldn't even post about it because they like deleted my account.
They already deactivated your account.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a great point, though, man. I think don't get the blinders where you think that Instagram's the only thing that you can use as social media. Twitter is one of those things that just has really never changed,
Right.
which is not a bad thing.
No.
You've got, like you said, TikTok, you've got Facebook. There's other ways to get your social media out there. And I think, unfortunately, that's going to be something, if you really want to expand that reach, and we've talked about this before, you're going to have to expand yourself to other social media platforms, because there might be people that never use Instagram, which seems alien to us. Like, what?
Right.
Nobody uses Instagram. Our entire community uses it.
Yeah.
But take yourself out of that bubble of the toy community for a second, which is very heavy on Instagram. And just think about other people that you're trying to introduce to your work or what it is. If you're a local hunter or something, you want to find more people that live in your state. You might have to go outside of your comfort zone. It's going to take a bit more work.
Even Discord and Reddit and like Twitter is a great example.
Great.
Just because.
Great idea.
It's crazy. There's so much talent out there. There's so much potential. I see some great artists. Their photography's out there, and I'm like, man, it would suck if Instagram was to just, let's think about it. Like, let's say Instagram tomorrow, it shuts down. Like that one day where Instagram was down all day, everybody was freaking out. Everybody was jumping on Discord, just like freaking out.
Instagram down for everybody.
Yeah, and that's it. Like,
what's going on?
Exactly. And a lot of times I'm like, man, I need to spend more time on Twitter, or I need to spend more time.
Yeah.
And there is individuals that's all they do. They're so active on Twitter. And it's crazy. I've had some really great conversations specifically on Twitter where they're like, I came across this and I'm like, yeah, I'm also on Instagram. They're like, oh yeah, I don't use Instagram. And I'm like, what? Okay. And then that to me, I'm like, I got to remember that there isn't people that, I personally know people that are like, yeah, I don't deal with that. It's the whole like us saying about the reels. There's people that, nah, I'm not going to go on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, there are a lot, which just seems alien, I think, to a lot of people in the toy community, because it is so heavily invested in Instagram.
I'm going to take it back. I'm going to just start printing stuff and put it up around the neighborhood. Slap it on the light pole.
Put it on like a local light pole. Find me.
I'm going to take over I lost my cat. I'll be like, nope, here, Prime Arcade. Later. Like,
Prime Arcade. What? You want an 112 arcade? Hit me up. Like, here's my phone number.
Hey,
and you have those little like rip away.
Yeah,
those little rip away tags. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Starbucks. Here.
Yeah.
I don't care about Snowball.
It's something I see a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
And what I don't want it to happen is to let people discourage or create some kind of loss of motivation. My engagement down, that means I'm doing something wrong. I'm walking away. That's not true.
No, don't walk away. Yeah.
If you think about it, like we talked about, Instagram at its core is a business.
Yeah.
And now that they're owned by Facebook, which they weren't always owned by Facebook, back in the old days that me and Prime were talking about, those are the days when they weren't owned by Facebook, when they were just their own entity.
Selling tumbleweeds.
Yeah, selling tumbleweeds. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
back in
Oh
the
yeah.
chronological feed days, and just when things used to be how we used to remember them.
Yeah.
But now that they're owned by Facebook, Facebook's trying to make money off this thing. They
Mm-hmm.
invested in this for a reason. They thought it was some kind of monetary value there. They're going to do what they want to make it more beneficial for them. And unfortunately, it seems like Reels are kind of where they're trying to focus on, because
Yeah.
people like that video content. So that I just don't want people that I follow or that I interact with to get discouraged or create, stand up to that challenge, be like, hey, I'm not going to let you keep me down.
Right.
I'm going to
And
keep doing my thing.
exactly. And one way to stand up to that is like, that's when you create those alerts, or that's when you post
Yeah.
even more. And it doesn't have to be posts.
Yes.
Let's say you posted a picture, do a bunch of stories, do a bunch of reshares, comment, be more active within the community to show like, hey, I know you guys want the reels, but I'm gonna go comment on this. I'm gonna reshare this guy's post. And there's a lot of people that do, they do that. They do a lot of research, and I think we can take a page out of their book and just imitate that, where we are showing them, look, I get it. You guys want us to use the reels. We'll do it when we feel like it, but as a community, we need to come together and support each other, where if there's a content creator that you really like and they don't use reels, make sure you do everything you can to support them, whether it's setting up their alerts, where I've gone in there and I'm like, okay, every time this guy puts a picture up, I want to make sure I get alerted. And it's crazy because I was like, okay, let's see if it works. And I've been getting a couple alerts. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. I'm like, it was a couple days, but my feed's all jacked up. Like, I either see stuff that's super late, or I see stuff that has nothing to do with, like, I'm getting like Frito-Lay's ads, or I've been getting some weird ads lately where it's like a lot of cruises. And I'm like, I said the word cruise one time, and now I'm getting a bunch of Royal Caribbean cruise. I was like, damn you, Skynet. I'm just going to be talking about, I don't know. I don't even know what to talk about. Sometimes, like, I just think it, and it's like, oh, here's an ad.
Yeah, it's so weird that you say that, because I was talking to my wife recently about going on vacation. We're like, we need to buy those airline tickets.
Boom.
Sure enough, I go back to my Instagram. I've got this American Airlines ad that is in my home feed. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, something was listening to me, because I've never searched for American Airlines on my Instagram.
I get a lot of beef ads lately because I'm always saying the word beef.
Beef.
So, yeah.
Omaha steaks.
They're like, yeah, Texas Roadhouse. And I was like, what? I'm not that hungry. Come
Black
on.
Angus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, likes don't equal quality, people. It's not a measure of whether your post is good or not.
Yeah.
So don't take it to the fact like, oh, I'm only getting 200 likes. My post must suck. That's not true. It's just the engagement is down. There's more focus on the reels. And from what I understand, my app has not updated, but I think on Apple devices, the Instagram app is updated. And if you go to your homepage and at the top where it says Instagram, you can click on that and change that to following, and it'll only show people that you're following. And I think that's a way to go back to chronological order.
Oh, really?
Because they have reintroduced the chronological order. And I was talking to Jason B. Michael about this. His is already updated to show that. He tried to tell me, he's like, go and do this. I'm like, I can't do it. So I'm on an Android. So for some reason, I don't have that. But if you go to your homepage, at the very top where it says Instagram, you should be able to click on that and change it to where it says following. And then that'll change all of the posts that you see to only be from people that you follow, hopefully filtering out some of the ads. I don't think it filters out everything, but it should be a bit more chronological than what it was before. So that's a way, like you're talking about, like Prime said, if you want to see your friends post, there's still ways to do that. Turn on notifications for your friends, the little bell, or I can't remember what it is on Instagram, but there's a way that you can turn on notifications. For instance, if I want to, make sure that I'm always seeing Prime's posts, I can just go to his page, click the three dots, and then there's a way for me to turn on. Oh no, it's at the top right. There's a little bell. You can click on that and make sure that you get notifications when people post. So if there's a certain creator that you like, if there's someone that you want to make sure that you're supporting, turn on that bell and you'll get notified every single time they post. It might get a little bit annoying, but at least you won't, like Prime said,
you won't miss it.
Sometimes I don't see some of these posts for like 2 or 3 days. I don't want to take it personally, like, hey, you've been avoiding my stuff. Like, I literally have not seen it until just now.
Yeah, I haven't had a like from you in a couple of days, so that's why I was like, you know what? I don't know how much longer this relationship is going to go.
Yeah. Prime's going to leave the figure booth because I don't like this
That's
stuff.
it.
But yeah, I mean, just turn on your friends' notifications if you really want to see it. People that you want to support, people that you want to make sure that you see that content. That's a good way to do it. And hopefully that should help prioritize those posts in your homepage.
Yeah.
And then, it seems silly, but like, comment, share, like we talked about in prior episodes, the share and the save are good ways to show Instagram that you like this content. You want to keep that going. I think the more saves that you get, the more of a chance you're going to reach that explore page.
I've only had 2 saves in the last month. You guys got to
2
save
saves.
Come on, that's it.
Start saving more Prime's posts. He's getting a little bit. He's taking it personal here, guys.
I'm taking it personal. I'm gonna leave. That's it. I'm leaving Instagram. Fire sale.
But I mean, good work speaks for itself. Whether you're a dial maker, whether you're a customizer, whether you do toy photos, focus on the quality over the quantity.
Yeah.
Don't just race to post. Don't just post because you feel like you have to. Post good quality stuff, and that'll speak for itself.
Yeah, and there's some really great things. Like every once in a while, I love it how people in the community say, like, "Hey, we're gonna start sharing accounts that we really like," and they'll tag a bunch of accounts. I always get a kick out of that where I'm like, damn, there's a bunch of accounts I still didn't know about. And I'll go, and if you post that, especially in your stories, a lot of times I do find myself like following a bunch of new people because I'm like, whoa, I didn't know about some of these individuals, and there's a lot of amazing talent out there. So I always love when the community goes through that type of phase. And maybe that's what we need to keep encouraging, like keep resharing people that you really like that you may think they're not getting the spotlight. I mean, that's how we came up with the figure aficionado segment. It's really spreading love. Like that spotlight needs to be big. There's so many amazing individuals out there that it always shocks me when a new account comes across. A couple months ago, Jay Figs sent me something. He was like, "Hey, there's this account. Like I told him about you," and I was like, "Wait, what account?" And I checked him out. Amazing dude. Like he does a bunch of photo shoots. He does a bunch of lives. Like crazy stuff. And I followed him, and then me and him, we started talking, and it's great. I'm like, dude, where have you been? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, So I'm a big believer in karma. If you want that back, you're gonna have to give that out. You can't just get the free.
Yeah, just give it up.
The
you
likes,
put out. Just everyone put
the
out
follows. Yeah, and the comments. If you're not doing that back to people, there's a good chance they won't want to do that back to you because it's all reciprocal.
Exactly.
You have to give out,
put out
back,
or else you got to get out.
Yeah, put up or shut up, type of thing. Yeah, if you want people to comment on your photos, you want people to save your stuff. You got to like your photos. You got to do that. Yeah, you got to show that love back to people because people notice that.
Yeah.
And one thing I've thought about a lot is think about your follower base. Like what is it that you really, how did your account get big? Like what were you really posting a lot of?
Yeah.
For me, I posted a lot of DC stuff. So if I post DC, that usually does a little bit better. But if I post like Legions or even Marvel, it might not do as well. Doesn't mean that the quality of the photo is shittier. It just means that my follower base might not really look for that. I might have people that just are following me because I'm DC heavy.
Yeah.
They're like, I just want to see DC stuff. I don't care about this stupid Arethyr figure from Legions or Miles Morales, whatever the case may be. I just want to see Batman kicking people's asses in toy photography. And that's a lot of my follower base, probably.
All Batman fans. Bunch of Batman fans.
And I'm trying to post different stuff to try to get away from just
Batman
being
fans.
Well, yeah, I mean,
no, but that's a great point.
But reach out of your comfort zone a little bit, but don't expect the same kind of return that you have been getting maybe on stuff that you normally post. Just because it's not what your followers originally found you for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah, that it makes me think of like this recipe for success that I used to use in my day job, but you can apply it to this too, where it's like 3 easy steps. It's really being able to identify your process. What is your process? And a lot of times, a lot of us in the community, we share our process, whether it's taking a picture, sculpt, customizers, style makers, we share that process. So for step 1, what is our process? A lot of us already know that. Step 2 is being able to identify your audience. Who is it that's most likely to like your picture? Who is it that like you said, who is your audience? And I think having that insight that Instagram is able to provide you, like, hey, your post does really good Wednesdays through Thursdays. and you realize, hey, I post a lot of Batman pictures. I guess a bunch of Batman fans are up during this time, because it breaks it down even time zone and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
seeing that, hey, I do really good, or participating in some of these challenges, or I know
Yeah.
at one point I was participating in certain toy shots where it's certain hours for certain time, just being super, super active in different communities and within Instagram. That's kind of step two, knowing your audience, knowing what they like, especially if you're looking for growth. And then the
Yeah.
last step is always insight. What is it that you're providing that's beyond the obvious? Whether it's,
Yes.
man, your photography is so killer. How do you do that? Oh, I use, what was that tip that Mario shared with us? The polyfill, or I
Yep.
use aerosol, or I use this, and maybe you do some BTS. But I think having those 3 steps, knowing your process, knowing your audience, and then providing insight, information that's beyond the obvious, I think that if you stick to those 3 things, your result is always going to be progress. Your result is
Freaking
always going to be growth,
light bulbs going off in my head, man. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head, though. That's so
Yeah.
true. Like, think about it when you're using your Instagram. What is it
Yeah.
that draws you in?
Right.
What are posts that you're like, oh shit, I need to see who this guy is and
Right.
follow him?
Yeah.
That's what you want other people to do when they've seen your account.
Yep.
So I think those are great points, man.
Yeah.
And
That's
obviously me and
that's the recipe for success. That's it.
Yeah.
Those 3 things.
I couldn't agree more, man. You just gotta get away from the fact that maybe you are getting less likes. That's okay.
Yeah.
You still have a huge follower base. People still love your content. You're on Instagram for a reason. The toy community is awesome about being supportive. It doesn't mean that it's a bad post. Keep doing your thing. Last thing I want, and I've said this before, I just don't want it to discourage people, and I don't want people just to drop off. Like, I'm leaving Instagram. This sucks.
Yeah.
Like, rise above it, man. Don't let it defeat you. It's at the end of the day, it's just an app.
Yeah.
And there's things that you can do to better yourself and get your name out there.
Yep.
But yeah, a great discussion. If you guys want some more info about that, there's a really informative post that I found from @TisMaddie's Art, TisMaddieSart. Really great post about a lot of what we're talking about here. There's also a article about it. You can go to that post to find it. But just really great info. I think it's beneficial to keep yourself educated about what is going on with the app that you're using, how it's changing the community, things that they want you to do. Because if you try to just ignore that, you may get surprised one day that when your post doesn't get as much likes as you thought, and you might take that too personally. So it's all about education. That's all we're trying to do, is just help people out. We'd love to hear you guys' comments about that. If you have your own experiences, you have tips that people might benefit from, please comment in this video down below. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from everybody and just get your thoughts on this. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. So switching gears, going into the weekly, or just pre-orders, I guess I should say, not weekly pre-orders. Super 7's been dropping some heat lately. I don't know if you've seen it, because I know you've been busy the last couple of days, but they dropped some pretty big news the last couple of days. Super 7 Bruce Lee Ultimates.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
I like the set. It's with Bruce Lee. I mean, that's a hard line, because you expect like crazy articulation.
Yeah.
But with Super 7, you're not going to get crazy articulation. You're going to get the accessories. I'm not crazy about the yellow suit. I mean, I like the way it looks, but like, I want him to do, like, I think Yamaguchi would do a good Bruce Lee as far as like the crazy articulation, like, or Mafex, right?
It seems to be the biggest thing that I think people are concerned about is, this won't be the super articulated Bruce Lee that I want, but it's Super 7, and maybe you lack in articulation, you're going to get in aesthetics. Yeah, because it looks amazing, and the accessories.
This one I like. This with the accessories, the different head sculpts, the hands, and the tank top. Like that looks really cool. Like
that looks really good.
Yeah,
I mean, that looks a lot like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Very, very screen accurate. And for the people that are trying to shit on this and say, "Oh, it doesn't have double jointed elbows," you guys know that.
Yeah.
It's Super 7 at the end of the day.
I'm not coming in for double jointed elbows.
Yeah, you're not coming to the company just for that. You're coming in because of all the accessories they give you, the aesthetics. If it's not for you, that's cool. But I hate when I see people try to shit on the company or say really negative things in their posts. Like, don't go do that. It's not doing anything for Super 7. It's not like you're gonna change their mind and be like, oh, put these back in production. Double jointed elbows for everything. They're gonna keep doing what they're doing. I think it looks great.
Because there's some really super articulated Bruce Lees out there that have came out. Was it from SHF? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SHF, I think, made some. I could see Mafex doing some at some point. Yeah. Like you said, Yamaguchi, like, holy shit, that would be amazing if they did, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
If this isn't for you, I mean, maybe.
But this is aesthetically pleasing because it looks solid. Like, it
looks really good.
Yeah, that some of the poses look really, really good. Obviously, you're not going to get like this crazy, but that right there, it's like, okay, right.
That looks, yeah, it looks great. And you're probably getting a little bit more range than just the 90, because even though, if you don't, a lot of people don't realize, but Yamaguchis have single joints too.
Yeah.
But it's the way that the joint's designed that lets you go way far back. It's the cut. They're taking cuts out of the plastic here so that you can go further back. But then people are like, I hate the gaps.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you won't get that kind of bend if you don't have the gaps in there. It's like, what do you want more of? You want articulation? You want aesthetic? Because you can't get both sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And this one's aesthetic. It's definitely like you're going in Super 7 for aesthetics. You're not going for crazy articulation.
Right. Yeah. One other thing I thought was really cool that they shared, let me just get it ready real quick, is, well, I don't have to show it, but they showed a picture of like a Roger Rabbit hint.
Yeah.
And it's, I can't remember that guy's name, Christopher Lloyd, the character, he's holding the shoe over the dip.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, Roger Rabbit. Like, I might have to get it just for nostalgia on that one.
Yeah. But you saw that they're reaction figures.
Oh, they are?
They are reaction figures.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're not.
Oh, so you're educating me. Okay. I didn't know that was reaction.
They showed them today, and it's a set of reaction. They're all going to be reaction figures.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
I need to get,
all right.
I need to get caught up.
if they were deluxe, if they were like, I'd be in trouble because I definitely.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I would need to get a Roger Rabbit. We all would want to get a Jessica Rabbit, but reaction figures, like, I can pass on those.
Yeah, I mean you're right. So I missed this actually today. But yeah, I still might get them just because it's so nostalgic for me.
It's such a classic movie. Yeah.
I've just got so much love for this movie when I was a kid. And you can't deny the card art looks fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I might just get Roger and Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You can see it comes with a little shoe. That's what I saw in that post. Okay, funny. That makes a lot more sense now. But yeah, when I was watching the Enabler stream last night, Mario had a full set of Wave 2 Power Rangers, and they look fantastic. He's like, these look so good, I don't even want to open them.
Yeah.
So it's not really for the art, like you said, it's not something I'm probably going to break out and play with a whole lot of.
Yeah.
But the classic nostalgia is really what kind of drew me in.
Plus, Mario breaks everything, so if he doesn't break it, he's gonna sell it. So
yeah. It's classic Mario. And then the last one I was talking about is 5K Toys. We talked about this in our live, but I'm just really excited for it.
Man,
this Flashpoint Batman. I hope it comes out well, though. I'm a little concerned with the amount of fabric that I'm seeing. This piece here.
Yeah, that's concerning, but everything, like the head sculpt looks good. I think it's gonna be a solid figure, so I'm definitely have to jump on that one.
Yeah,
that looks good. Look at that. I mean, that looks really. The baggy pants. I'm okay with MC Hammer pants.
Can't touch this. But yeah, hopefully it comes out nice. There's always a little bit of concern with third party about what it's really going to come out and look like, but definitely excited for it. And then this Rorschach.
Yeah, the Rorschach. I'm close to jumping in on that just because, man, it looks so good.
I've got one coming. It's not shipped yet, but I definitely have this on order because I just don't feel like I'm going to find a Rorschach figure that looks this good.
No, you're
in
not.
Cloth goods.
Yeah.
The last one that I got was a DC Direct one, and it was horrible.
Is it Patriot Toys or who's? Or Felix?
I think this is Felix. Same people that made the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
And this was a little bit bigger because they show a picture.
Yeah.
With Two-Face, so I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be nice." Pop off that head, two different head sculpts. You got a guy in the trench coat. Like that looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a comparison shot here, but they did do one to Prime's point.
They did.
I think when they first solicited it, and it was put up against a Two-Face, and it looks almost the exact same size.
Yeah.
So that was a big complaint last time. Is that
and that trench coat? I mean, those soft goods look so good.
They look really good, and it looks like it's almost a little soft in the face. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
that's really fabric or not.
Yeah.
But he comes with 4 different head sculpts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I'm very excited for this one.
Hmm.
So if you don't have it, looks like they have some extra stock, so you can get one.
Might jump on that.
Don't miss on a
Might
Rorschach.
jump on it.
All right, moving on to Plastic Confessions. Do you have
Yeah.
anything this week?
You know what? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna get
Tokens.
the trip. Yep, token. I'm collecting tokens here. I don't got nothing this
Hey,
week.
It's part of the budget list, right?
Budget list, budget booth 2022.
Yeah, we're trying to be a little bit more adhering to the budget. I know people give us shit because we're both talking about new lines, but we're
Yeah.
also trying to budget that around dropping other stuff. you know?
Right, but I did pre-order. Well, I didn't pre-order, but I did pick up the shirt I have. It's from White Gold Industries. All right, shout out to them. They dropped a
White
Gambit's hoodie. They dropped the Gambit hoodie. I
Yes.
picked that up, but they had a contest, and I tagged a couple of people,
Yeah.
and you were one of them.
Yeah.
And
You tagged
who
me.
won that contest?
Yeah, I won that contest actually. I was super stoked for that. Didn't think I would win. You know, obviously, you never think you're going to win
Right.
a giveaway like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Prime had tagged me, which really got me aware of it. And then I tagged a couple of my friends, and then lo and behold, they chose me as a winner.
And look what you won.
So
It was
I
perfect,
know.
right?
out of all things
dude,
to
I
win,
was so
this
excited when they
is fucking perfect for me.
Yeah.
Bane cracking Batman's back, and then you got the Azrael Batman right there.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked for these. When he DM'd me, and
I'm wearing
told me
one of their
about it.
shirts too, right here.
I was going to ask if that's
This is
one of
from White
his because
Gold
it looks like
Industries.
his style.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shout out to White Gold, man. He's just dropping some fire.
Always.
And what Prime was talking about, they
Yeah,
dropped
so I got the
this
black hoodie,
V-Day.
the Rogan Gambit, and I'm on the
Nice.
fence. I'm wanting to get that Gambit with the white sleeves and the cards just because it looks so dope. But I got that white.
this one
I got
right
that
here?
hoodie. Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
get that set, but I got the hoodie.
Yeah, the hoodie looks great. I love the design of this.
I got the hoodie for the wifey, so Lady Prime's gonna have a little surprise.
Nice. That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
V-Day.
Valentine's Day,
surprise.
boom.
I think these are still live. I don't know. His stuff goes really fast.
Yeah.
So
make
if
sure
you
you guys
haven't
jump
jumped on it
'cause
already, there's a good chance it's going to be going really soon.
I have a bunch of the shirts. Like, I told him, like, I'm gonna have to add you to my direct deposit and just send me shirts every time I get paid.
Prime's definitely the more fashionable of the two of us, and he's always got some kind of badass comic shirt, and it's usually from White Gold, from what I
It is.
understand. So
Yep.
yeah, White Gold, great.
He's
Out
my
and,
he's my dealer, my shirt dealer.
Yeah, he's the fabric dealer. So my plastic confection, I've talked about this before. I finally found this out in the wild, and I just could not pass it up. But I got the Meow Skulls
nice.
from Fortnite, which comes
Yeah.
with the weight set. Really, the weight set is what I was after, and I love how he comes with one of the dumbbells,
That's so cool.
so you could
I've
have
been
like
seeing him. I'm so tempted to
Batman
pick him up.
pumping iron, and
Yeah.
then you've got somebody that's just doing dumbbells next to him. Like I think I'm gonna have Soups and Batman in the cave together, kind of working out
Nice.
together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really for the Dio piece there.
Props, yeah.
Meowscles is cool too. It's a good figure. But if it was just that alone, I might not have grabbed it. But since I had that weight set, it's just hard to find stuff like that.
Yeah, it
you
is.
don't find weight sets or props like that very often.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pass it up. All right. Going into Nasty Nate's dirty trick for the week. This one is really about using backgrounds and shots and just making sure you're, I guess, doing it appropriately. Whether it's a diorama, which I don't have a lot of experience with, or it's an extreme set, or it's a dio piece, or it's just a picture that you have printed out. Make sure you're separating your figures from the background enough. And what I mean by that is, like, you don't want, let's say I've got this isn't a dial, but let's say I've got this figure here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want Azrael right up next to the background. I want to separate him a bit from that. So he looks like he's sort of in the scene, because when you put him like that, it kind of takes the immersion away. It makes him look flat.
Yeah.
When you're taking pictures of actual people out in the world, they're never right up against the background like that. They're always separated out. There's always a separation there, which creates the depth that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So sometimes what I see is that new photographers, they might not know the best way to do this. So they'll just slap that figure right up next to the background. And usually you get a little bit more glare. It doesn't create as much depth as you think it might.
Right.
You want to separate that figure a little bit away from it and then put lights just really on the figure itself. Have lights that are lighting up the background, but try to create that separation because being too close just makes it look flat. It doesn't create the depth that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And really can take somebody out of the immersion of a shot if you have that too close. So just a tip for some guys that are new. I know a lot of the seasoned vets don't do that. But if you are coming into it new and you're a little confused about how to use a dial properly or a background, always give yourself some separation because you don't want your background to be as in focus as your figure. It always should be just a little out of focus,
Yeah.
just enough to where you know what's going on back there, but it's not as clear as the figure. The figure is really the central focus of the shot, or the figures. So it helps really with that focus so that you can really just making the clarity on the figure and not so much the background. So hopefully it helps you guys out.
Yeah, it's a good tip.
I've seen some questions on that. Last but certainly not least is the figure aficionado for the week.
Here we go.
For anybody uninitiated, this is me and Prime's chance to give somebody in the figure community a spotlight. Just maybe somebody that doesn't have as much following, or somebody that we've recently discovered, or maybe one of our friends at the figure booth said, "Hey, you got to check this guy's out. This guy's workout. You're missing it." So I want to recognize Machu Toy.
Nice.
He's been doing some really great work lately. I've been DMing him back and forth a lot. He's an avid listener. He says a lot of our tips that we talk about really help him.
That's that one, man. That one blew me away. Freaking love that picture.
Yeah, I mean, wow. This blew me away because he's posted before, but this felt like something very new for him. And when I looked at this at first, I had to kind of do a double take. I'm like, are these computer generated images? Or are they actually like a toy photo?
Yep, same here.
And they're all toy photos. And he posted this for the Enabler Arachnid Challenge that Toying Around was doing with the Enablers.
Yeah,
the lighting, this Gwen pick.
Lighting's on point.
Yeah, the lighting goes so well with the background, which I think, where we're talking about backgrounds, you got to match that lighting. So if he's got this, he's got this pink light coming from the left here.
From the bottom, you
can see. You can see all of that coming on Gwen, and you get blue lights over here, so it's a little bit more light on this side. Really, just helps blend it into the image. This one's fucking awesome. I love Miles falling into the city like that.
Yeah,
and you can see the lights are coming from his back here.
Yep.
So the city lights are really starting to illuminate.
And the moonlight is lighting them up from the opposite side, That's what you
exactly.
You put the picture there, like, oh, it's the moonlight and it's the city lights.
Yeah, great way to say that. Yeah. So you got the moonlighting here on the left side. And, you always want kind of that contrast of your background's mixing in with the figure light, and then it makes it seem like it's blending into that. And he did a really great job here. And then this one with Peter B. These look like the Mayfex, I think. I don't know if these are 1,000 toys or not.
Yeah. Those are Mayfex.
Maybe. Okay, these are Mayfex, yeah. But he did a great job on this one, too.
Mayfex. You think it's Sentinel? I don't think it's Sentinel. I think it's Mayfex.
Yeah, I think it's all Mayfex. But yeah, he's just great photographer. This one, he said he just took away all the background. He said, hey, I listened to your episode. I took away all the background stuff, just focus on the figure. I thought it came out great.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, awesome Superman shot. You got this cool one where he's got like the grapnel gun going out. Yeah. Really great work, dude. Really enjoying your work. I love the feedback that you're giving us. I'm glad it's helping you. Keep killing it, because obviously you're making your own thing here. This is really great work, dude. This is great. The hands down.
Yes,
freaking awesome.
That's freaking amazing.
So shout out to Machu Toy. If you guys aren't following him, please go give him a follow at MATCHUTOY. Really great photographer. Keep killing it, dude. And if you guys have suggestions for other figure aficionados, if there's somebody that you want to give some recognition to, please let us know. And if you've never done action figure photography and you want to get involved, we have a challenge going on right now.
Yeah.
for a recent reading of Hawkeye Volume 1 and Volume 2. The Hawk Guy shot.
Yeah.
It can be any Hawkeye figure whatsoever. Even, I don't know if there is a Kate Bishop figure out there, but if you want to do Kate Bishop, sure, why not?
Kate Bishop's out there.
Yeah, you can do that one too. But yeah, post that photo, tag it as Hawk Guy shot, as we've stated here in the stream. And then me and Prime will look at those submissions and probably have an episode really just focusing on those. Hopefully you guys get involved. We'd love to see a good turnout on that.
Yeah, and I think Marvel Select just re-released the Hawkeye.
Oh, nice. So there you go. There's a new one coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, or if you have Old Man Hawkeye, or if you have an MCU one, or even if you have the Toy Biz Hawkeye, you want to use that one, that's cool too.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you guys do some more, and it might make you into the figure aficionado for that week.
There you go.
So
definitely jump in.
That. And then if you haven't already, please go check out thefigurebooth.com. We've got new merch on there. We've got new shirts. We've got some hoodies. We've got stuff, Starting Beef and Spreading Rumors, Plastic Confessions, our classic Figure Booth logo. We've got 2 of the fan-created logos. We even got some Prime merch on there. So please go check that out. Hit the like button and leave a comment if you are watching this or if you're listening to it.
I need to see them.
Really means a lot to me and Prime. Yeah, I can see it right there. There it is. There's a comment I want to read. I love reading the comments after the episodes, so please leave a comment if you guys have some feedback on what we talked about today. And then make sure you're hitting that like button because it really does help us out. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That's it. It's been another great episode. We had a great conversation. Hopefully you guys liked it. Give us that feedback. What other topics you guys want us to tackle? If not even only topics, but what guests do you guys want to see on the show? We have a list. We're reaching out, trying to get that back up and going. So as always, I've been your host, Josh, aka Prime to the First. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
And I've been Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well, and sometimes TikTok. Although it sounds like I'm going to need to get down there a little bit more, based on what we talked about today.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
You have been listening to The Figure Booth.